Welcome back, my kings and queens, my gods and goddesses. Donny Gerald back with today's video. As you can see, still at the University of Cincinnati, looking downward on the practice field of the Bearcat soccer team, and also if you look in the distance, you can see the football stadium. So I figured it'd be a cool spot to shoot the video on time, which is a very important video. So time. Does time exist? Let us first scientifically explain time. Time is not a clock on the wall. It's not seconds, minutes, or hours, or days, months, or years, or decades, or centuries. Time is simply how movement happens from point A to point B. Time is the measurement of an object moving from point A to point B. That is all time is. The measurement of an object moving from point A to point B. So does time exist? What do you think? Yes or no? Time is the measurement of an object moving from point A to point B. So does time exist? Does the past, present, and future exist? Let's dig deeper. My kings and queens, my gods and goddesses, does the past exist? Some of you would probably say yes. But I would ask you, is the past here now with me and you? Is the past actually here? Is it here with us? No, it's not. It's gone. It's erased. It doesn't exist. So does the past exist? No, it does not. Does the future exist? My kings and queens, my gods and goddesses, does the future exist? Well, let me ask you, is the future here now? Some of you may say yes. But as soon as you get to the future that you think exists, wouldn't that future then become the present? The now? Yes, it would. It's impossible also for the future to exist, because the future always becomes the present. When the future actually gets here, it's not the future, it's the now, it's the present. It's impossible for the future to exist. So since the past doesn't exist and the future doesn't exist, the only thing that can possibly exist is the present, the now. The beingness of now. Give me 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and go into the yellow room where I can get a little more quietness. So the only thing that can exist is the present moment. It is impossible for the past to exist. It is impossible for the future to exist. The past is in the past. It doesn't exist here with me now. The only thing, or the only way the past exists is within the memory that is stored within the brain. The past is stored as a set of memories within the brain, making up who you are and what you would know at the current moment. But the past, the actual time frame of the past, does not exist. It is gone. The future, also, as we discussed, does not exist. Because if in the future I'm going to take one step forward, hence one step forward, but it's still the present. It's the now. Where's the future? It's the now. I'm still in the now. Here and now. The future cannot ever exist. Only thing that ever exists is the present moment, the now, the here and now. I'm going to send a shout out to Eckhart Tolle, Eckhart Tolle. Sorry if I got your name incorrectly pronounced, but a shout out to Eckhart Tolle, Eckhart Tolle, for a beautiful book called The Power of Now. If you have not read it, I have it on audiobook on my channel. It is a must-read. Phenomenal book, changed my life, and in my opinion, probably the greatest book ever written in enlightenment, because it contains one of the most important exercises of enlightenment, which is silencing the mind, which we will get into. But a shout out to Eckhart Tolle. You changed my life, buddy. God bless you. Beautiful. But Eckhart Tolle, along with myself, will tell you that the only thing that exists is the here and the now. So us, my kings and queens, we have to focus ourselves in the present. We have to make each and every present moment the best it possibly can be. And that present moment will lead to a so-called future present moment, which would actually be the now. But every choice to make every present moment the best it possibly can be will generate into a better, what you would call future, but will eventually be your present. It is a must to take each and every present moment that you have as your last and live it as your last and enjoy the present, because the present is all you will ever have. Time, my friends, does not exist. Now, where we come from, the Godhead, a ball of energy and consciousness. In this ball of energy and consciousness also lies immortality. The God that we truly are knows no time. We are immortal. Our light body and soul is immortal. And that immortal self knows no time. It knows no time and never will know time. The only place that time exists is when the Godhead shoots out the Alpha Omega, the beam of energy, which we are all created in the middle of. We are part of that beam of energy. The Alpha, the beginning of the beam, the Omega, the ending of the beam, and we are created within the Alpha and the Omega. The only place that time exists is here on this third dimensional realm, because we have a physical body that is acting out our mind's thoughts. And all time is the measurement of me going from point A to point B. But in the truth of all things, whether you went to the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, the 12th dimension, in those dimensions is immortality, and in those dimensions there is no such thing as time. The world leaders know there is no such thing as time. In law, do you know if you use a calendar date, if you put on a date, or if you say you were born on, for instance, February 2nd, 1979, if you give them your birth date, they have just contracted power over you. You have contracted with the court and gave them power, because they have created the calendar, actually stole the calendar. The Europeans stole the calendar from the Mayan civilization, but the Mayan civilization created the calendar not for a measurement system of days, but actually to implant time into mortal bodies, into people. Because if there's time implanted, then there would be a birth, but most importantly, a death. If a person thinks there is time, the The person also thinks he or she has to pass away. But the calendar, that's another video, another topic, but the calendar was created by the Mayan civilization. It was stolen from the Mayans. The Europeans took the calendar and the so-called idea of time and implanted it into law. Because they know there is no time, they know that if you are using time or a time frame or a calendar date or anything that has to do with time or giving your birth date, that you are obviously not acquainted with your higher self, the God within. You are still of the mortal flesh and therefore needed to be treated accordingly and ruled over, because the mortal flesh is not good. The mortal flesh, all it does is want. It desires. That's why the mortal flesh is considered evil. So on and so forth. Okay? But that's just a little bit of law for your kingship and your queenship. Okay? Time does not exist. There is no time. Your immortal self does not know time. It is immortal. It is a god. It is a goddess. Time is the measurement only in the third dimensional realm of an object moving from point A to point B. Time does not mean that you have to live and you have to die, that you have to be born and there's a death. It does not mean that. It doesn't mean that just because there's time that you have to die or pass away. Is it possible that the death is just a program that was instilled into your brain because it was instilled? Now you think that you have to be born, live, and then die? Just planting a seed. I'm gardening, planting seeds. And I hope one day those seeds will blossom into a beautiful tree. There is no time. Time is an object moving from point A to point B in the third dimensional realm. Once you reach your enlightenment, you will realize there is no time. You are an immortal god or goddess. Time does not exist. The past does not exist. The future does not exist. The only thing that exists is the present moment, the here and now. And my kings and queens, my gods and goddesses, from this point on, I want you to make every present moment that you have, whatever is around you, whatever people surround you, whatever environment that you're in, wherever you're placed, you just make the best of every moment that you can. Spread as much joy and kindness as you can. And one present moment will lead to the next present moment, which will lead to the next, which will lead to the next present moment, so on and so forth, until finally your present moment is filled with beauty, happiness, kindness, and surrounded by the greatest people that you could possibly be surrounded by. Because every present moment you made the best of. Okay? But there is no time. There is no past, there is no future. The only thing is now. You have always existed, and you will always exist, because the only thing that exists is right now. With that said, my kings and queens, my gods and goddesses, love you all. Donny Gerald signing off. God bless. Till the next video.